Adam. So we've done a lot of research on what's been working, what hasn't, what you'd like to see changed for membership campaign resources. And so we are already in the process of working through some of the requests that have come through the membership planning process. So I want to share with you kind of what's in the works, where we're at right now. And then we have specific questions on what more tools and resources do you guys need to be more successful in your membership campaigns. So some of the feedback that we received revolved around rack cards. And could the rack cards and the one-page membership apps be edited or customized with the county specific dues and county addresses? So the answer is yes. The question was raised, could credit card space be added? And the answer is yes. So we'll be retooling those and putting that back on. And then questions had arrived on the trifold benefit brochure. And so could that be customizable for county events and information? So we're going to make a buck slip available for you guys to customize to be added into that trifold. Another request was, could one be for farmers and then one to show the value to others to speak to both audiences. So we're looking at having a farmer focused and a landowner agribusiness brochure. So a lot of the information on the inside will be the same, but the picture and the titles on the front will be different. So, and again, in the spirit of flexibility, they will be customizable for county information. Another request was for the application, wanting an 8.5 by 10 application to fill out at county fairs and mailings. So we do have that, and that will be available. The request was made that it could be bigger. A lot of the space was taken up with all the county dues listed. So again, we're making that customizable so you can add your dues amount, your county information, if you want more room for birth dates or things like that. So the other one was on public policy and value messaging. And so I'm working with Leah Curtis. So right now she's updating that, translating the value into dollars piece with removing things that are now outdated and adding, updating the financial information. So I'm hoping that we'll have that by June 15th. And so you guys can have that for county fairs and summer events. And then there was also an updated value of Farm Bureau. It had a lot of the graphics on all the different advocacy pieces that we're doing. So she's updating that as well. And adding all the new things that we have there. So a lot of the other pieces, just looking for bringing out more social media training to OD meetings and having more graphics for social media, a lot more cut and plug and play. So a lot of those things, we've heard your requests. We're trying to be more flexible, more customizable, and also getting them out here a lot sooner so that you can utilize them through the summer. So, but we also want to see what else would be helpful and what you need. So I'll turn that over to Mandy, and we have some specific questions. You do have them in your folder. We're going to break you into groups. And so I just ask that you pick a reporter, and I would like to collect one from each group just to capture all of the things that you would like and need as well.
Yep, so the questions, it's a white form that says county marketing and resources at the top. We're gonna have you guys break out into groups, and then the questions are all right here. But one thing, I know it's super easy, and we as ODs, it's always kind of really easy for us to talk about what's not working, but we really want you guys to focus on the things that are working. Try to have your responses be solution driven, things that we can actually take and look at. And we do realize everything's different. I mean, I just look at my 4 counties and they're very, very different just within the counties. But just sharing those, because we're going to compile everything and kind of see the commonalities of what is working in a lot of the areas. So again, try to focus on what's working and what or what could work better with maybe just a little bit of adjustment or a little bit of assistance. So we'll take a few minutes. We want to do groups of 5? 4 groups of 4. You guys want us to give you numbers, or can you figure it out?
Just do groups of 4. Who's all your neighbors?
Try to mix up regions if you guys can, just so we're kind of hearing. Maybe try to mix up regions. Yeah, I think you should. That's fine. Yeah, just try to mix a little. And you're only gonna get a few minutes for each question, so we only have a little bit of time left, so. And we will be around if you have questions. We're gonna go till about 3:05. Me and Danielle will be around.
I appreciate like a one page, now that been. Like one page application.
These are that are being traced across the state.
Oh, are they saying what edition? Or I thought we were doing the. Share those.
Yeah.
She's creating the first one of this. That's not. Well, this is. Second version. Well, I looked at it, just think we use. I didn't read it. Oh, one page application. Was effective while we were back to do it. So you, yeah, they would do that. Right. It would be for the. They wanted to have a contract.
Yeah, we have treasure books.
Well, let's do it.
Correct. Well, I know them.
Let's try to do. Like, kind of like the. It's for sure. It's inspiring.
No, we should be.
Yeah, there's a few.
It would be valuable to have everything marked on. How are they?
Just like music. It's just like.
It's very much. But this has so bad.
We're gonna reconvene in about 7 minutes. Keep it moving.
But then you get those. He's a lot more.
The ceremony.
But.
Boy. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Great.
A lot of states.
Yeah, I'm on the road. So it's just the audience. It's staff. Presidents, sometimes it's like the general membership. It's like- I would say this. If I did my shit,
The only question about the last.
Talking about- Yeah, Hawaii, Nebraska. No, not that. Hawaii, Nebraska.
That's what you know, why.
Yeah.
We just have all of Nebraska.
You mentioned it.
Like, I, like the code.
They did. Band stuff. She was like. I know.
She is Nebraska.
They want to make metrics.
Yeah, between them.
So.
We don't have to use that.
First. Yeah. I was in Waco yesterday.
We did a conference on Friday. That's Friday.
Yeah. So it was. All these. There was voluntary.
Well, I think it's-
Hey. Yeah. My membership programs.
I have an idea, pretty much read it already. They'll read at 1 a.m.
Alrighty, guys, we're gonna pull it back together to try and get you guys out of here at a decent time, and we'll still have plenty to do today, so. We'll have one person report back, and we'll just go through, the questions here, and then I will collect these just to gather all the input, so. We'll start up with Connie, who's reporting.
Oh.
Lindsay, okay. So there have been some great membership marketing pieces created across the state. Share the most effective piece that you've utilized in your counties.
One item mentioned, was something Epic does, they do postcards to members that are coming due, so if they're due at the end of the month and they haven't paid by. It's not like the 31st, they might look the week before, but so a close up. Kind of, about to be lapsed postcard.
Okay, thank you. Trevor's group, who's reporting?
Two things that stood out as things that our board felt was effective. One, personalized postcards, like Lindsay said, but sending them to people who are past due, with that direct message. And then, one of Caitlin's counties, their board members requested business cards that have their own personal information on them. So when they're out and about, you can hand that out and have that interaction as an ongoing connection.
Great, thanks. Nick,
You don't like any of your. Renewal reminder postcard signed by boards 3 to 4 times per year. And then I've had success with the t-shirts at the fair renewal campaign and doing things like that. I've included win backs, previous unpaid, and all of the current papers in that, and it really helped elevate to the point when Paul sent out his first email about were ambassador club members, and all that stuff. I had people that were already there that didn't realize. So I'm wondering why. I don't remember the fair. So it worked out well.
Great, thanks. Ashley, who's, oh, okay.
You talked about things that use law that the state's created, the member benefit sheet, year review, and maybe even getting back where you could break out little things in those already create social media posts that we could do. The year review goes so far with so many of our members, the YVM member sheet, and those are things, along with county postcards, county renewals.
We said by like the top five things you're trying to do and sending that on a postcard to renewals or bring back. And then as well as what we do flyer. For kind of specific activities.
Thank you. The second question is, what additional content or resources are needed to help you be more successful in your membership campaign? So, Melinda, I'll go in reverse order. What did you guys say?
More like value prop graphics to be able to do like in multiple different situations that come with like 2 or 3 sentences. To help us express what that value proposition is.
Specifically for different audiences.
Yes.
So what would we say to somebody who's a landowner? What would we say to somebody who's a young ag professional who is entering, like, about leadership, about opportunities that provided them, a full-time farmer that's driven by XYZ? Just several different of those that we can use. A new concept that we can use to be more effective when we're talking.
Thanks, Kirsten.
An additional resource, like an ROI sheet. My husband, my father-in-law, all the time, is farmers we talk to, what's the ROI in my investment? Something that can show your CAUV, what we do, just a breakdown of what you truly are investing in, and just a simple sheet that shows that investment in your membership.
They're retooling that for you right now.
Yeah, Curtis.
So in the works. So. All right, Nick.
So these are all kids.
Sing a theme here.
Scrub CAV list. Scrub CAV list time to count. Talk about DTN, what we just did. Why can't we all get a CAV list, get it in Scrub and put it in the CR? Then you've got a list of all
Yeah.
people that are getting that benefit from the state. Text message options for those that have not renewed, so we can remind them through their phones. And on top of that, I asked how we find new phone numbers, because we've got a lot of bad phone numbers. We need to correct it for our volunteers calling, not getting a landline that's been gone for 10 years. How can we figure out how to update that information? Folks, somehow.
Thanks. Okay, Kayla.
So we said a buck slip that you could add into that trifold that specifically had a local board member's testimonial of why they are a member, why they're involved. Templates, the local geofencing, things we already talked about. And then also, attending events that are ag events that are not Farm Bureau events. But along with that, because again, our time is very limited on what we can do, so maybe it's a board member, but it could also just be having a stack of materials that you ask Soil and Water or Extension or whoever it is to have at the event, even if someone can't physically be there, there's still a presence.
Thank you. And Lindsay?
We thought it would be helpful for our draft talks leaders to see a report of all the membership efforts and tactics being put together, but
Which is kind of Paul's e-newsletter. Is it something different than that?
Even more like what Adam, sorry, like what you presented, the multiple digital.
Thank you. So that kind of ties into what types of information do you find most helpful, and what methods of communication are preferred across for staff, county leaders, and members? So Lindsay, I'll jump back to you.
texting, we like texting. That's it.
Kayla? Okay. Nick?
That's membership newsletter for fall.
Yeah.
I want to, a lot of our adults really like that. For me, I took one thing off my plate, but I don't have to do that. It's at the basic, it's already got to be done. But inside of that, separate we gave them the whole gamut of numbers, and a lot of times those folks are just looking at how many we have to go. We simplify it down a little bit for that view for them. So it can be, like, they're looking at that, what the heck is going on?
We'll get a spreadsheet, or I'll tell you that. We have such a great online tool.
Melinda? Okay. And Kirsten?
So, TikToks and how people really like those short videos, and also that older demographic, really, they still love print. So somehow getting a letter to maybe just that older demographic, not necessarily something to everyone.
Thank you. What type of additional content is needed for social media and what resources, whether that be training, post ideas, et cetera, and would help counties better utilize county websites and social media regularly? So Kirsten, I'll jump back to you.
You talk about just one thing, we're always talking about nationwide, just for social media, we don't have like a big toolkit of a ton of different ones. If we have like an our office nationwide Wednesdays, trying to post something every Wednesday, just having more of those resources available. And more diversity in images, I think a lot of those images we showed earlier, like we've seen the drone image so many times. I think we can just get more diversity in some.
Thank you. Melinda?
We talked about, maybe some training on analyzing, if we're boosting a post, make sure we're targeting the right audience and just training on that, and how to analyze that data that comes in.
Great. Nick?
Making it simpler to share, making consistently available, that same day of the week. We don't always get that, the graphics and stuff that we can share at the same time, and we've got staff that are trying to work on schedule and keep up, and it'd be great to have that on a more consistent basis. And then kind of what Melinda said, just a match class of social media. There's been a lot of trends have changed. I'm sure it's the last time we've ever really talked about it, but are we doing it properly? Not to maximize our dollars.
Okay, thank you. Kayla?
We kind of ran out of time. We did mention the cheap graphic we talked about before, but I also really like them.
Okay, and Lindsay?
Nothing new to add.
Okay. And the last question, what challenges have you encountered in communicating our value proposition with members? And what specific strategies or tools do you believe would enhance our communication efforts? So Lindsay.
We ran out of time on this, but Amanda whispered to me that she thought it was okay that I say this because she knows I feel this way. So this is not my group's comment. This is just me. But, so our.
Do I need to give you a ride home later?
Our mission is broad and our value proposition is narrow. And I think the wording of our value proposition needs slightly reworded because it doesn't invite non-farmers to learn more about it.
Kayla.
We said uniformity in the message, and the struggle was keeping that message direct, which is getting right back to what Austin was talking about this morning and things that we need to work on that could also be broadly. And again, we ran out of time, so that's perfect.
And Nick.
Pillars are confusing too many different terms. If the programs are not fitting under the pillars, these volunteers won't do them. They don't do them. And we were all kind of talking, Austin, you were up and kind of put what you said the pillars were. Terms that you used seemed a little different than what we've been hearing. We kind of felt those a little bit more digestible. The language that you used, and maybe it's completely different. We were trying to figure out.
I pulled that from something. That was
Yeah.
an awesome. It was on something. that I thought maybe
Official documents and things like that, but it seemed like it just flowed a little bit.
Melinda?
I'm the-
Okay, Jill?
We kind of ran out of time with this one too, and we said one of our biggest challenges is a lot of times when we're on the spot with a member, they want a quick, short answer in order to keep their attention to move forward. So, for example, it's a lot easier to say, well, we offer a TSP benefit, my mouth, God's ears. It's easier to lead with that and then say, in addition, that's a great opportunity for you guys to save money. But these are all the great things that we bring value in order to stay with us and keep with us, and the real reason why we do what we do. It's hard to get those value propositions in there first, because you're just trying to make an impression.
And Kirsten.
I you said is, you know, for our volunteers, they sort of get a little confused by the visual. Or by, so maybe just a really simple visual of what that is. They still get, they still have some confusion by it.
With examples of what goes under the pillars. Yeah. That is universal across the organization and not just what each department thinks.
In that one, like, example of like the program of work, that wasn't enough examples under kind of each one, but I think
When you
Wyandotte.
talk to different departments, and I'm not calling anyone out, their vision of what that is, what that pillar is and what that value is different than what maybe ours is, what the field is, and what the state staff is. We need a more universal description of what those kind of things are. And it doesn't have to be set in stone, it's just, it's a big change from being able to do programming that is not as necessarily driven by certain lanes. And they need help. And frankly, so we not comprehending yet what some of those pillars are and where their programs fit into.
I like the leveraging trend pillar. I feel like that's the one that my county struggled with the most.
I'm with you, that was exactly my, because when I think of the trends, mine was more about, you know, marketing and those types of things, and that's not necessarily true. Nick said, well, that's like trends of any kind, like right now, solar, oil and gas. Oh, hey, well, that's a light bulb for me. And I think that is public policy, I don't think. And maybe it falls under more than one. Okay. And I think the problem is that. We're not developing these concepts, we're not working in what a value prop is every day like you guys are. So even though you've probably said it 50,000 times in your committee meetings and your discussions and you're putting those information together, we're still getting used to the concept. And so if you feel like we're struggling with it, it's because we are. Because we're trying to figure out how to convey that to our people so they understand, and how to convey it to ourselves so we understand.
But we don't understand it. Plan for it, they understand. We gotta really bring it down to their.
And at their level, I think the value proposition is different in 86 counties. Because we don't all do the same programming in every county. So what one county thinks versus the other will be completely different. And I think going to the $120 dues rate statewide will change something, because in the past you had $85 here, $70 there, but you were pretty much doing the same thing. But why does it cost more over here than it does over here? And so I think trying to package this a little bit more neatly, so we can say to a prospective member, here's what we offer. It's gonna be different every county. If we drill it down to the county level, I think that's a good spot for us to be.
We gotta dumb it down for us. Simple. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your input. Mandy's gonna collect your forms. I know we ran out of time for the last two questions, so if there's other things that you guys think of on the drive home, I'll compile all of this feedback and suggestions and see what we can implement, and just email those to me if you have more thoughts, since we ran out of time. So thank you.